Namaskar. In this lesson, we shall discuss resolution of intellectual property rights disputes. The objectives of this lesson are to understand the nature of intellectual property rights related disputes, to distinguish the IPR disputes from other kinds of traditional disputes, to analyze the interface of internet and IPR dispute resolution, to find out the means of resolving disputes on international fora, to trace the law, procedure and mechanism to resolve the IPR disputes in India, to assess the working of our courts and special bodies like Intellectual Property Appellate Board in India. In modern times, intellectual property is becoming more and more valuable, and protecting IPRs is becoming more important and more difficult as time goes by. The rise of the internet is a major force behind the increase in the intellectual property disputes. A look at a few top intellectual property disputes both on and off the internet shows that resolution of IPR disputes is becoming difficult. In the case of Amazon's one-click patent, Amazon was granted a patent for one-click technology, also known as one-click buying, in September 1999. This technology allows customers to make an online purchase in a single click by using a billing address and credit card or other payment into that is kept on file in the user's account. Several patent disputes surrounding one-click technology, including a patent infringement lawsuit, were filed against Barnes and Noble after Amazon's patent was issued. Barnes and Noble offered a checkout option called Express Lane, which also enabled shoppers to make a purchase with one click. This lawsuit was settled in 2002, but the terms were not disclosed. Since April 2009, Google has been fighting number of cases, including trademark keywords, for appearing on the competitors' search pages whenever users search for them. Yet another case is the Da Vinci Code case, that is Michael Bygent and Richard Lay versus the Random House Group Limited. Bygent and Lay alleged that Dan Brown, author of the best-selling Da Vinci Code, infringed on the copyright of their non-fiction work Holy Blood, Holy Grail. Because Brown had not copied the text of the earlier book, the claim was based on non-literal copying. Bygent and Lay asserted that Brown told his story in the same manner in which they had expressed historical facts in their book. The claimant's case was dismissed in the year 2006, with the judgment stating in part that there is no copyright infringement either by textual copying or non-textual copying of a substantial part of Holy Blood, Holy Grail. Yet another interesting case has been the Napster case, which is one of the internet's most well-known intellectual property cases, in which the Recording Industry Association of America sued Napster, a file sharing site founded in the year 1999. Napster allowed users to share music files, and thousands of people began downloading songs for free rather than buying CDs. Though it did not own the rights to the music that people were uploading to its servers, where the music was stored and ultimately shared. The rights were owned by the recording artists and recording studios. The Recording Association of America sued Napster and 1, causing Napster to close its doors or its servers as the case may be. Napster now operates as a fee-based music download site and pays licensing fees for the music it sells. In Bratz Dolls versus Barbie, decided in the year 2008, Barbie was finally declared the winner in the long-running intellectual property rights battle between Mattel Inc. and MGA Entertainment Inc., the makers of Barbie dolls and Bratz dolls respectively. In the lawsuit, Mattel sued MGA, claiming that it stole the concept and the name of the Bratz doll from them. In this case, Carter Bryant, designer of the Bratz doll, was an employee of Mattel, but also working as a consultant for MGA when he designed the doll. A few years after MGA began selling Bratz, Mattel sued both Bryant and MGA, alleging copyright infringement. Because Bryant was on the Mattel payroll when he created the doll, the Bratz name and design are considered trade secrets. The court sided with Mattel and ordered MGA to pay $100 million in damages. All these cases reflect the paradigm shift in the nature and scope of IPR disputes in recent times. Now, coming to the nature of IPR disputes and their resolution. The intellectual property rights, namely the patents, trademarks, industrial designs, geographical indications of goods, integrated circuit designs, plant varieties, copyright and neighboring rights, and also including the rights relating to traditional knowledge, are considered as rights in rem, as they enable the owner of the intellectual property rights to exclude other persons from using or exploiting them during the period of their protection. A right in rem is a right exercisable against the world at large, as contrasted from right in personam, which is an interest protected solely against specific individuals. Actions in personam refer to actions determining the rights and interests of the parties themselves in the subject matter of the case, whereas actions in rem refer to actions determining the title of property and the rights of the parties not merely among themselves, but also against all persons at any time claiming an interest in that property. The IPR disputes touch upon both the rights in rem and rights in personam at national and international levels. Coming to the types of intellectual property rights disputes. The most common type of IPR dispute is that of infringement, where the intellectual property is used or appropriated without the owner's permission by another person. Infringement can apply to different categories of intellectual property like copyright infringement, patent infringement, trademark infringement, so on and so forth. The other disputes are relating to passing off in case of trademarks and violation of licensing and assignment agreements. Most of these disputes are resolved by following the judicial dispute resolution mechanism. Coming to the resolution of IPR disputes at international level, we should refer to the role of World Trade Organization and its dispute settlement body. The TRIPS agreement makes disputes in respect of the obligations under the agreement subject to the WTO's dispute settlement procedures under Article 64. A dispute arises when a member government believes another member government is violating an agreement or a commitment that it has made in the World Trade Organization. The dispute settlement body has authority to establish dispute settlement panels, refer matters to arbitration, adopt panel, appellate body and arbitration reports, maintain surveillance over the implementation of recommendations and rulings contained in such reports, and authorize suspension of concessions in the event of non-compliance with those recommendations and rulings. The dispute settlement body is made up of all member governments, usually represented by ambassadors or equivalent. The current chair is Ambassador Dacio Castillo from Honduras. The appellate body was established in 1995 under Article 17 of the Understanding on Rules and Procedures Governing the Settlement of Disputes. It is a standing body of 7 persons that hears appeals from reports issued by panels in disputes brought by WTO members. The appellate body can uphold, modify or reverse the legal findings and conclusions of a panel, and appellate body reports are adopted by the dispute settlement body unless all members decide not to do so. The appellate body has its seat in Geneva, Switzerland. The WTO has one of the most active international dispute settlement mechanism in the world. Since 1995, 598 disputes have been brought to the WTO and over 350 rulings have been issued. Another international player in IPR dispute resolution is the World Intellectual Property Organization's Arbitration and Mediation Center. The WIPO Arbitration and Mediation Center was established in 1994 and is based in Geneva, Switzerland, with another office in Singapore. It offers alternative dispute resolution options for the resolution of international commercial disputes between private parties. Developed by leading experts in a cross-border dispute settlement, the arbitration, mediation and expert determination procedures offered by the center are widely recognized as particularly appropriate for technology, entertainment and other disputes involving intellectual property. The WIPO Arbitration and Mediation Center also provides time and cost efficient mechanisms to resolve internet domain disputes without the need for court litigation. This service includes the WIPO initiated Uniform Domain Name Dispute Resolution Policy UDRP, under which WIPO Center has processed over 50,000 cases. In December 1999, the WIPO Arbitration and Mediation Center began offering domain name dispute resolution services under the UDRP. The center's services include administering second level domain name disputes for generic top level domains, that is GTLDs, to which UDRP applies. The center is the leading provider of dispute resolution services under the WIPO initiated ICANN mandated UDRP. The center also administers disputes under a number of specified policies adopted by individual GTLD registries. Apart from this, in order to offer time and cost efficient mediation, arbitration and expert determination proceedings, the center makes available at no cost to interested parties online case administration options, including video conferencing facilities, WIPO EADR, and the WIPO EADR allows secure filing, storing and retrieval of case related submissions in a web based electronic docket by parties neutrals and the center from anywhere in the world. It also facilitates case management by providing, in addition to the online docket, a case overview, time tracking and finance information. Now, coming to resolution of IPR disputes in India. Most of the IPR disputes in India, like in any other country, may be relating to either acquisition of intellectual property rights or management of IPRs or even violation of intellectual property rights. With regard to acquisition of intellectual property rights, this area involves the resolution of certain disputes mostly by the administrative authorities as established or appointed under the relevant IPR legislation. For instance, in case of registration of patents and any related disputes, the controller of patents has ample powers to resolve certain disputes within his jurisdiction. Section 77 of the Patents Act 1970 deals with the powers of the controller generally, similar to civil court, and also with the power to grant compulsory licenses under section 84 and termination of compulsory licenses under section 94, etc. In case of trademarks, the registrar of trademarks has the power to resolve certain disputes at the time of registration. Chapter 2, sections 3 to 17 of the Trademarks Act 1999 deal with the register and conditions for registration. In case of industrial designs, the controller of designs has ample powers and also duties which are regulated by sections 32 to 36 of the Designs Act 2000. Under section 3 of the Designs Act, the Controller General of Patents, Designs and Trademarks, appointed under the Trade and Merchandise Marks Act of 1958, since repealed, shall be the Controller of Designs for the purposes of the 2000 enactment. In the case of geographical indications of goods, its registrar plays an important role in resolving certain disputes. Chapter 2, sections 3 to 10 of the Geographical Indications of Goods Registration and Protection Act 1999 deal with the register and conditions of registration. The Controller General of Patents, Designs and Trademarks, appointed under section 3 of the Trademarks Act 1999, will be the registrar of geographical indications. In case of copyright and related rights, the registrar of copyright plays an important role under sections 9 and 10 of the Copyright Act 1957, dealing with the Copyright Office and Registrar of Copyright respectively. In case of the layout and integrated circuits designs, they are also called topographies, by its registrar, certain disputes can be resolved. The Semiconductor Integrated Circuits Layout Designs Act 2000 in chapter 2 sections 3 to 7 deals with the registrar of semiconductor integrated circuits design and their registration. And in the case of protection of plant varieties, the rights of the farmers and plant breeders, the chief executive of the Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Authority plays an important role in resolving certain disputes regarding the registration, and this is the provision under the Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Act 2001. These authorities exercise number of powers along with the central government while granting any relevant intellectual property rights. The central government has certain overriding powers also under the Patents Act with regard to issue of secrecy directions under section 35 and also under the Copyright Act, so on and so forth. Now, coming to yet another mechanism which can be invoked for resolution of industrial disputes. India has a special or quasi-judicial body established under few enactments and recognized under many other intellectual property right laws. Indian government has constituted a quasi-judicial body consisting of judicial and technical members to look into certain disputes relating to intellectual property rights. Intellectual Property Appellate Board, also called IPAB, has been constituted by the central government in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry on 15th September 2003 to hear appeals against the decisions of the Registrar of Trademarks under the Trademarks Act of 1999 and the Geographical Indications of Goods Registration and Protection Act 1999. The Intellectual Property Appellate Board has its headquarters in Chennai and it can have sittings at Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata and Ahmedabad. In the year 2007, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, in accordance with the provisions of the Patents Amendment Acts 2002 and 2005 that changed certain important provisions of the Patents Act 1970, provided for transfer of all the appeals pending before the various high courts to the Intellectual Property Appellate Board. Likewise, fresh rectification applications under the Patents Act 1970 also have to be filed before the IPAB consequently. Further, in pursuance of section 160A and 160C of the Finance Act 2017, the Intellectual Property Appellate Board established under the Trademarks Act 1999 was made the Appellate Board for the purpose of the Copyright Act 1957. In view of the same, all cases pending before the Copyright Board were transferred to Intellectual Property Appellate Board. Furthermore, under section 59 of the Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Act, the Intellectual Property Appellate Board exercises the jurisdiction, powers and authority conferred with the Plant Varieties Protection Appellate Tribunal to hear appeals under the said Act. Thus, the Intellectual Property Appellate Board exercises powers of an appellate body under 5 different laws at present relating to trademarks, geographical indications, patents, copyright and plant varieties protection. Now, coming to the judicial resolution of intellectual property rights related disputes, we have a very well established system of judicial resolution of IPR disputes. The civil courts, the criminal courts, the high courts and the Supreme Court exercise jurisdiction in relation to the IPR disputes. This power can be traced to the specific power conferred under the individual laws and also under the Constitution of India. Under section 104 of the Patents Act, no suit for a declaration under section 105 or for any relief under section 106 or for infringement of a patent shall be instituted in any court inferior to a district court having jurisdiction to try the suit. So, minimum jurisdiction can be exercised only from the district court upwards. However, where a counter claim for revocation of the patent is filed by the defendant, the suit along with the counter claim shall be transferred to High Court for the decision. This position also has undergone a major change after the decision of the Supreme Court in Alois Oben's case. Under section 108 of the Act, reliefs in suit for infringement of patents may include injunctions, damages or an account of profits. The court may also order seizure, forfeiture or destruction of the infringing goods related to materials and implements. Section 134 and 135 of the Trademarks Act 1999 deal with the suits for infringement instituted before district court, and reliefs in suits for infringement or for passing off. Under section 62 of the Copyright Act 1957, every suit or other civil proceeding in respect of infringement of copyright in any work or infringement of any other right conferred by this act should be instituted in the district court having jurisdiction. Under section 55, where the copyright in any work has been infringed, the owner of the copyright will be entitled to all the remedies by way of injunction, damages, accounts and otherwise as are or may be conferred by law for the infringement of a right. They include Anton Pillar order, which is a form of civil search warrant that displaces the normal rules on discovery of records; Mareva injunction, that is an injunction that restrains the defendant from removing assets from the jurisdiction or dealing with or parting with the assets in such a way as to render the execution of the decree inexecutable; and even Ashok Kumar or John Doe orders, whose origin can be traced way back to the reign of England's King Edward III, when such orders were used to refer to an unidentifiable defendant. Also, on the criminal side, number of intellectual property statutes in India provide penalties for various offences relevant to the concerned intellectual property rights. They include penalties imposed under the Patents Act 1970, that is sections 118 to 124, under the Geographical Indications of Goods Act 1999 under sections 37 to 54, the Copyright Act 1957 under sections 63 to 70, and the Plant Varieties and Protection of Farmers' Rights Act 2001 under section 68 to 77. The following cases are relevant to understand the judicial response to IPR disputes in India. Bajaj Auto Limited versus TVS Motor Company Limited case decided in the year 2009. In this case, the Supreme Court directed hearing in the intellectual property matters should proceed on a day-to-day basis, and the final judgment should be given normally within 4 months from the date of filing of the suit. In N.R. Dongre versus Whirlpool Corporation, decided in 1996, the Supreme Court laid down clear guidelines on the issue of trademark registration and passing off. In Wockhardt Limited versus Torrent Pharmaceuticals Limited, decided in 2018, the Supreme Court resettled and affirmed the settled principles of passing off and acquiescence, etc., in relation to trademarks. In the Chancellor, Masters and Scholars of University of Oxford and others versus Rameshwari Photocopy Services and others, the Delhi High Court on December 9, 2016 delivered an important judgment with regard to course packs and also relating to the fair use exception in case of copyright infringement. It may be noted that this list is only illustrative in nature. Now, we have to note the shifting focus towards ADR in the case of settlement of IPR disputes. Of late, the focus is shifting to ADR systems as they are found to be more advantageous given the unique nature, scope and extent of IPR disputes. In the case of Booz Allen and Hamilton Inc. versus SBI Home Finance Limited, decided in the year 2011, the Supreme Court observed that all disputes relating to rights in personam are considered to be amenable to arbitration, and all disputes relating to rights in rem are required to be adjudicated by courts and public tribunals. The court also considered the disputes relating to subordinate rights in personam arising from rights in rem to be arbitrable. The Supreme Court, in the case of Suresh Dhanuka versus Sunita Mohapatra, decided in 2012 in respect of dispute pertaining to the assignment of 50% of ownership in the trademark, approved the dispute to be arbitrable. Further, in the case of Eros International Media Limited versus Telemax Links India Private Limited, decided in 2016, the Bombay High Court clarified that an infringement or passing of action binds only the parties to it and can be considered arbitrable. Where there are matters of commercial disputes and parties have consciously decided to refer these disputes arising from that contract to a private forum, no question arises of those disputes being non-arbitrable. Such actions are always actions in personam, one party seeking a specific particularized relief against a particular defined party, not against the world at large. There can be no blanket bar on the arbitrability of disputes relating to IPR arising out of the agreement entered by the parties, and it will depend on facts of each case. There is no iota of doubt that IPR matters which fall under the ambit of special authorities constituted under the relevant act, like the Registrar of Trademarks, Controller of Patents and Designs, Intellectual Property Board, etc., cannot be subjected to arbitration. Cancellation of trademark registration, adjudication of opposition proceedings, grant of compulsory license for patent, cancellation of design, grant of compulsory license in works withheld from the public in the case of copyright are such few examples of non-arbitrable disputes. If a dispute is arising out of the terms of the contract between the parties and the dispute falls within the ambit of the arbitration clause of the contract, even though such dispute pertains to the copyright or trademark infringement, it is something which could be decided by arbitration, as it will fall under the ambit of right in personam. Though most of the IPR disputes arising out of the contract will be amenable to arbitration, but not every dispute. Therefore, whether a particular IPR dispute arising out of the contract can be adjudicated through arbitration will depend on the facts of each case. Now, coming to the conclusion. The above discussion briefly explains the current status of resolution of IPR disputes at international level and also in India. It can be seen that except few high courts like Delhi and Bombay, many other courts in India have not witnessed much of the IPR litigation. The Intellectual Property Appellate Board has been doing commendable work when its strength is full. There are problems like inordinate delays, lack of expertise and guidance with regard to the working of traditional courts in this area. The focus is slowly shifting towards the ADR and ODR methods of dispute resolution, given the unique nature of many IPR disputes. In view of the involvement of international players and stakeholders, varying jurisdictions and laws, conflict of laws and ADR methods have assumed added significance in recent times. Thank you.